Aloha, I'm Gillian and this is Jungle. Jungle is a 2002 Ford E450 7.3 liter Super Duty. Welcome inside Jungle, and right now we are in the kitchen. I decided to go with a bigger fridge because I am a lover of food and I need my freezer goodies and my fridge goodies. So I went with a Magic Chef here, and it's a 4.1 cubic foot freezer fridge combo. It seems to be doing pretty well. We've been 2 years strong now, full-time living, and she's still holding up pretty well. Up top we have our dry goods storage as well as our cookbooks and our ever rotating fruit and veggie basket. I love having dry beans and stuff on the road. They conserve a lot of space. They also take up a lot of water, so it's a little bit of a catch-22. But yeah, I built this little kind of fridge cubby to hold the fridge in place. I've had some hiccups along the road and had to redo her because we go down a lot of roads we probably shouldn't be going down. But moving on, we have a stove and oven combo because your girl loves nachos, pizza, and roasted veggies. So we had to have the stove. Unfortunately, we haven't used it recently because we were really chasing the sun and it gets a little warm inside. This is a propane stove that I actually got off of Facebook Marketplace. And back here we just have all the goodies for the daily use: popcorn at night when we're watching movies. By we, I mean me and my cat. And coffee for the mornings to kickstart the day. Up top, we have an abundance of spices, like way too many probably, but I love my seasonings. Moving on, we have the lovely butcher block chopping block that serves several purposes. It can go on top of the stove. It can go over here for more counter space and also to hide the dishes when I have company over and I don't feel like doing my dishes. Back here, we just have a bunch of dishes that I probably have too many in the bus, but I do thrifting and estate sale hunting, so I find some really cool stuff when I'm out there, and I just love to include all those little things in the house. Back here, we have a giant sink. This thing is really deep. I do a lot of textile dyeing, so it's really important for me to have a deep sink to do my ice dyeing in. Underneath the sink, I have a 4-gallon gray water, which is rather small. And I do have a 21-gallon water tank. So I'm dumping it a lot, but usually it's just coffee water, pasta water, stuff like that. And I use biodegradable soaps and I dump responsibly. All the way back here, we got the Berkey. It's on every nomad's wish list, and I was fortunate enough to get it Christmas a few years ago. Love it. I have actually filtered snow when I was in New Mexico and I ran out of water, and it tasted beautiful. And yeah, under here we have a 20-pound propane tank. My funnel system for the bathroom, which is kind of my go-to daily use. I also do have a composting toilet under my bed in the back, but I find that the pee funnel for just one person in the bus is just the easiest route to go for me most of the time. Since I love to move things around and change up the vibe of my space, I went with a peel and stick wallpaper, which I really love, and after 2 years full-time living on the bus, I haven't changed yet. But I like the option of having this because you can totally change the whole aesthetic of your build with it. I could go darker, I could go lighter, I could go crazier with my prints, which I do have a lot of prints in the bus. But yeah, this thing it's really great. I love it. And then here we have utensils, more utensils than one person could probably even use, but I like to have all my stuff. As you can see, I'm not a minimalist, but I really make bus life work for me, I think. Down here we have one of our pantries. I am newly back into eating fish again, but mostly I've been vegan for like 5 years with a little bit of honey on the side, but we are venturing back into the world of fish, but I always need tons of room for beans, dry, wet, and everything like that. Down here we have more food storage along with the cat food, alcohol, and all the carbs that you need to survive on the road. All right, so down here is one of my favorite features of my build. One of the first little nooks that I built in the bus. Monk, my cat, has her own little pull-out tray, which is great, so I can kick it in when I'm cooking or I can leave it out. It was really important for me to have a designated space for her because I didn't want her bowls and everything flying around the bus as I was driving. And then over here, we have more storage for all the beans and oat milk you could ever want in your life. I was living in New York for about 12 years, working in television as an art director, set designer, and I was feeling like New York wasn't really serving me anymore. I had gone out to LA to travel for work, and I was like, let me suss this out. And LA just didn't hit the spot. And after several hours of commuting every day to and from set to work, let's say 16-hour days almost, 5 to 6 days a week, I decided something needed to change, that this job, this life wasn't really in alignment with who I was becoming or who I even was anymore. And I kind of took a dive face first into the vortex of YouTube, and I discovered a few van lifers that had gotten really popular back in 2019, 2018. And yeah, I just was like, that seems like the move. I've never driven cross country. I would love to like adventure around the United States more. Like, we have a lot of really amazing stuff to see, and might as well just take full advantage of it while I can. So I started looking for a bus summer 2019. I think it was like June. And by August 2019, Jungle and I were together. Okay, we have now landed in the Jungle Nook. This is where I spend, I would say, 90% of my awake time when I am in the bus. I come here, I drink my coffee, watch TV, hang out, doodle. I just this is my space. I love it so much. And with the living room, I wanted to make the couch deep. I wanted to be able to sit cross-legged and just be really comfortable, get a blanket, watch a movie. So the couch is, I think, 30 inches deep. And the other great part about the couch living room space is that the table actually can come off, and when I have guests, they can sleep here. When my mom has stayed in the bus when she was visiting, she prefers to sleep on the couch. She says it's actually more comfortable than my bed, which is a little insulting because my bed costs way more than the couch. But yeah, this is one of my favorite places. I did open shelving because as we continue through, you can see all my knickknacks and stuff. And I just love to have them on display and easy to reach up, grab my paintbrushes, or, grab whatever's in all my little containers. And the other really cool thing about this table is that it can swing. So I could swing it this way if I really needed more prep space closer, which doesn't happen too often. So underneath the couch is where my solar is. And I also have storage on the other side where I have sewing machine, art supplies, because I am just a Jill of all trades out here. So tons of storage underneath, a good 4-inch cushion on top. And I chose not to actually put custom cushion covers on my couch because, like I said, I like to change the vibe of everything all the time. So I just find really interesting printed quilts and stuff, and I utilize them on top, which also doubles as blankets for when people stay over. So up here is a scary place, really. I'm gonna give you a peek inside. Oh yeah, this is what it really looks like inside storage in buses. And if it doesn't look like this in your bus, then teach me your ways. But up there is kind of like my office, electronics, receipts that I need to go through so I can remember how much this life doesn't cost me. And yeah, I love the cane webbing, so I actually found a roll of this at the thrift store and I decided to do some cane webbing fronts. But as you'll see as we go through, I didn't put sides on any of my upper cabinets. I just felt too defeated, and honestly, it didn't mean that much to me. So I went sideless with my cabinets, but I still did the front. And then up here in the front is just kind of a catch-all. We've got plants, which I love, and you'll see there's a lot of vintage Budweiser stuff throughout here. And then all the rocks and crystals that I've collected as I've been traveling for the past 2 years. And welcome to the bedroom, where we get a good 8 hours of sleep almost every night because sleep is important. Over here we have a IKEA dresser, and again, peel and stick wallpaper, which I co-sign 120%. I just love the versatility of peel and stick wallpaper a lot, and I really love this print. As you can see, there's a lot of jewel tones throughout the bus, a lot of tropical vibes, so this really works in my space. Up here is, I guess you would call it my vanity, I have no idea. Vitamins, face stuff, hairbrushes, sunglasses, earrings, all the hoops, you know. And I have more clothes than one human should have in a bus. And I'm not ever going to give them up. So I needed a really, really big dresser. And this thing is, I think, 40 some inches tall and 24 inches deep. So it really holds a lot of stuff. And then back here you can see I've got more clothes in these little upper shelves that I did. Above me we have a non-functioning AC unit, which will be coming out in the coming weeks, hopefully. My original purpose was, or original reason for keeping it was functioning at one point, but it no longer does. So it's got to come out, and we'll do something real cool back here in the future. I don't have a max air fan in the back here, so I got a little USB fan, which is really great. And for now, I just kind of clip it in up here and help circulate the air around. I only have one window in the back that opens, but I do have a back emergency exit and a side, which was really important for me so that I could use under the bed as storage. So I left the art department set design world after about like 7-8ish years. And now I am venturing into a new source of income for myself. I've been doing textile dyeing since I was about like 5. And I really in the past 10 years, I've been doing it a lot more. I never did really reselling or selling of it. I just kind of gifted people stuff, or, you know, dishcloths just kind of ended up in rotation in my house that I was practicing on. And now I'm really trying to embrace that that medium and trying to really kind of make a place for myself in, you know, the textile dyeing world, which is ever growing. I mean, some people like to call it tie-dye. I like to kind of bring it up a notch. I do a method called ice dyeing, which I really love. It is a little more unpredictable how colors will bleed into each other and kind of create just a different flow, which I really like. I like kind of going into it with an idea, putting it together, and then letting the elements just kind of create what they're supposed to create and just see what happens. And then with the secondhand reselling, I focus primarily on 60s and 70s home decor. A little bit of 80s creeps in there, sometimes some 90s, just depending. But that's kind of like the niche that I've gone into. And I'm also do a little bit of secondhand clothing, and I'm really trying to gear more towards kind of tropical leisure wear, linen pants, shorts, Hawaiian shirts, because I mean, that's just jungle's whole wave. So we're just gonna ride it and see what happens and hope people kind of jump on the wagon and wanna, you know, acquire the things that have come from all across the country. I mean, I have stuff Arizona, Ohio, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, New York, Maine. I mean, when I travel, a big part of my travel journey is finding thrift stores to go to and kind of basing a lot of kind of the cities that I stop in on that, as well as, you know, if I want to go to springs or beaches and stuff like that. So now we are at the front of my bus, which I think, as far as decor goes, is probably the crown jewel of the bus. It's got a lot of character going on. I'm going to give you a little rundown on what's going on up here. So for the ceiling, which I did tongue and groove cedar, I just could not wrap my head around bringing it and curving it forward. So I actually went with just a bamboo privacy fence from a hardware store for like, I think it was $10. Folded it in half, cut it to size, and just kind of got it up there and put some trim up. And I really like it. I get a lot of compliments on it. It's definitely contributes to the island energy in here for sure. And then moving up here to this garland, I am not normally a person that likes fake plants. This is jungle. I love real plants, but I did have to kind of check myself and kind of tell myself that nothing will survive up here. It gets really hot when the sun is hitting it, and plants like to shrivel up and die. So I went with this eucalyptus combo garland, and as I've been traveling around the country, I've been collecting dead and fallen foliage, and I always make sure that there are no seed pods or bugs inside of the foliage, and I spray it with polyurethane to preserve it. And then all of the books that I've gotten secondhand traveling, I think it's really important, like if you are in an area, to kind of familiarize yourself with the plant life that is in that area, whether you're going hiking or foraging. So I really love to hit up thrift stores and find these books secondhand if I can. So I've got like insect books, a book from New England. I was up that way this summer. The Southwest, I was there last year. So it's just an ever-growing collection. And as I travel, I swap with people, or I just give them the book if they're going to be in the area, because I think it's important to pass that knowledge around. Down front and center is one of my gardens. I'm actually working on propagating fallen succulents that I've found while traveling, and they actually seem to be doing really, really well and taking to this life. So my green thumb is getting stronger now that I'm on the road again. Right now we are at the helm, the front, the forehead of the bus, which I am so in love with. My younger sister did this mural this past fall, and I just think it really encompasses and jungles energy to a T. I really love it, and it was a very collaborative project we did together. But I mean, she really came through, and I really love it, and it just gives jungle a little extra personality, I think. So right now we are actually at my pop-up shop. As I've been traveling, I have been collecting and curating really amazing, in my opinion, amazing secondhand goods that I just like love and speak to me. So to fund this lifestyle, I have been selling them as I've been traveling, and it's just been a really great experience interacting with people, seeing what people are really vibing with in the streets. And then over here, this is my baby. This is Jungle John. And these are all the tie-dyes that I do as I'm traveling across the country. And that big sink you saw inside, that's where it all started. So yeah, I do long sleeves, short sleeves, and I also, when I'm traveling, find secondhand garments and kind of give them a little rejuvenation, whether that's bleaching them and dyeing them, or just taking old travel shirts and dyeing them as well. So since I do pop-ups, I decided that it was really important to incorporate a table for that purpose, but also for just when I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I want to have my plants or my food outside. This is a new addition to Jungle in the past couple months, and I'm really, really happy with it. It folds up, and I just have some gate latch hinges that go in, and then I just have these little screw latches, I guess you would call them, that just kind of make sure that it doesn't pop open when I'm driving. One of the main reasons that I picked this style bus is that I wanted to have a back and a side door for both bed lounging and access to underbed storage, which is where I keep everything that I sell, which is not all out right now either. As you can see, there's still plenty of stuff under here. There's also still tons of room. And this goes back about almost 2 feet, and then there's a wall to kind of keep this separate from my more garage space, which contains her litter box, a 21-gallon water tank, and all of my tools and stuff. So, junglejawn.com. It's Jawn. Jawn is actually a Philly slang term. It's like that thing, like, oh, she a cute Jawn, she a cute girl, or pass me that Jawn over there. So it's kind of a jungle thing. So hence Jungle Jawn. So junglejawn.com and Jungle Jawn on Instagram as well. And then Jungle the Bus is my bus adventure. So everything can be found through that. And yeah, I'm working on the website currently. It should be up in the next couple weeks, and we'll start to really do online selling. Be true to yourself, live for yourself, and just embrace the journey, because what's meant for you will be for you, and that's all you can do. And if you are interested in nomadic living, bus life, van life, RV life, if you have that desire to seek adventure and exploration, I encourage you 100% to do it, because it is not about how beautiful your rig is, how Instagrammable it is. It's about where it takes you. And I think we forget a lot about that. And it's really important. Just remember, like, if you have a minivan, pimp out your minivan and hit the road. Like, just get out there. That's what it's all about.